Turning this dirty Jeep clean.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today we're going to take this neglected Wrangler and bring it back to life. This is part of a 4-part series. This is number 2, where we're dealing with the outside of the vehicle. We already have the engine bay done. Now we're going to do the outside, and we're going to make it shiny. You know, this Jeep it sat outside for a long time on a dealer's lot. They sent it to auction because no one was buying it. It's dented all over the place. There was other issues with it that, you know, we're taking care of. But the hood, we might end up replacing if we can find a replacement. But for now, we're going to clean it up. So in this episode of the 4-part series, we're going to be cleaning the exterior, decontaminating, and giving a light, quick, one-step polish.
I just think of it as like 2 words: quick, easy.
3, fun.
I was gonna say and. All right, the whole idea is let's do this in a short amount of time.
Right.
Shine it up, get it ready for sale, right? We're trying to boost the appearance. And we're gonna do a lot of steps, but they're not difficult.
No, very easy, not a lot of products, but just a lot of fun. And the first thing, you know, foaming is fun, so we're gonna foam it numerous times. The first thing is all clean. The reason we're putting all clean on it first, there is moss growing on this, there's all sorts of things happening. It's sat for a long time. So getting the all clean on there is gonna help dig into this content. Like, it feels gritty, it looks gritty, it just, ugh.
A lot of people will ask, when do I use all clean versus when do I just foam on Incredible Suds? Incredible Suds is our car wash shampoo, all clean, diluted 15-to-1 is our all-purpose cleaner.
Right.
And I have a difficult time giving them an exact answer. And I just tend to think it's like when the surface is nasty,
yeah,
I like to pre-treat with all clean first. Is that about what you'd say?
Yeah, exactly. And white cars always sort of look clean anyways, but this one, when you get up close, there's bird droppings that have stayed there for a long time. There were tree branches on it. Actually, I see a couple tree branches over there. All sorts of things. It had a tree fall on it at some point. Just, this Jeep needs to smile again, and right now it's not smiling. The all clean is gonna help us with that.
Okay, so let's start with that. Ivan, you've got your all clean in the IK here.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask, because dilutions can be hard. They seem simple, but how much water, how much all clean, did you put a little Incredible Suds in there? Give them the exact ounces of each.
Yeah, 120 ounces of water, 8 ounces of all clean, and a cap full of Incredible Suds.
Do you eyeball 8 ounces, or do you really do it the right way?
I measured it.
Okay.
I don't want to waste product. When you eyeball, you always use more for some reason. I've never seen someone eyeball and use less. So when you eyeball, you think, is that enough? No, I'll put a little bit more in. This way, you're getting the right amount in.
So Ivan, you're gonna go ahead with the all clean. I'm gonna grab some iron remover on the wheels.
Exactly. These wheels are not in good shape. We can see that they're brownish almost with brake dust. So Nick's gonna get that. Just let me spray here before, so I don't spray you. There you go. You can get that wheel. Might be better to have the door closed. Now, since we are going to be selling this Jeep afterwards, that's part of what we're doing here. I'm going to do the door jambs. And with the IK foamer, it's quite easy to get in here and do the door jamb. As predicted, Nick, those wheels are a little red at the moment.
Yeah, they've seen better days.
The spare wheel on the back of the Jeep is one of my favorite to clean. It never has brake dust, and as a bonus, you don't have to bend over.
So Ivan, let's say somebody doesn't have a fancy IK foamer, a Foam Pro 12.
Right.
Would they just spray all clean in a sprayer, or how important is the foam?
It helps. So having foam with all clean, and let me
throw the tree branches.
yeah. Get them in the garbage there.
There you go.
Okay, so the foamer helps the all clean to dwell longer and do a better job. If you don't have a foamer, by all means, you can spray it on.
Those wheels are purple.
Yeah, those wheels have seen a better day. And hopefully by the time we're done, they'll be a little shinier than they are right now.
Oh, and you can see the all clean just starting to grab whatever's on this hood, this dirt, and break it up a little bit and sort of safely start to pull it off the surface.
Yeah, definitely. Just need a little more pressure in the IK. Now, the trim on the Jeep is like on most Jeeps. It's dull, it's faded. That's gonna be the 4th video in the series. So stay tuned for that one. But part of the prep for the Plastic Restore and Protect is spraying all clean on it. So we're doing part of that prep now. And now that the iron remover has dwelled a little bit, I'm gonna add the all clean to that.
So it's safe to go iron remover all clean for folks out there. They might be a little unsure of the chemistry, they don't know.
They're compatible, they work well together. And having the iron remover on there is going to help it. Now, I prefer normally to put the all clean on first, but we knew these ones needed the iron remover, so we might use the iron remover twice on these.
Yep.
And this door, for some reason, does not like closing.
I like that. We have the purple and the white, the foam.
Yeah.
That's a good look. Now, if I'm in direct sunlight, folks, I'm not gonna do this because we are allowing for a lot of dwell time. Direct sunlight is gonna just dry this, and high heat and detailing never go well together. Just word of warning, word to the wise. If we want to do the same method, Ivan, I may suggest working a section at a time, rinsing it after that. Working a section, rinsing, working a section, rinsing. It's just about being smart with your chemicals and high heat. You know, that direct sunlight can really do damage if you let it.
So Nick, I know you're a fan of this. If you could foam the truck for us, please.
Oh my gosh. The fun is not done.
Now you're gonna concentrate on getting the, the frame rails if you can, the wheel wells, get all of that foamed up.
Okay.
Because when we go to rinse it, they'll come a lot cleaner.
Incredible suds, 1 ounce in the foam cannon. A flip or 2 for good luck. You really want to shake it up. It is a very thick formula, so just give it a good shake. The one mistake I see with Incredible Suds folks make is they have that thick layer at the bottom of their foam cannon. Just shake it up and it'll perform well for you. Ivan, there's so many questions about detailing that I think beginners have. One of them would be when to use Incredible Suds versus rinseless wash. And the only thing I can tell you with certainty is foam is just fun.
Right.
So that's one reason to use it.
That's about the only reason. Pick one you like, use it, and you can alternate between the two. In this case, we're using Incredible Suds because of the all clean. So this is giving the all clean a little more dwell time that is going to allow it to work even better. Now, we went over the Jeep and we're pretty much done because it's white now. We've accomplished what we wanted to do.
Let's get out of here.
We have a little more to do. It's very contaminated, it's gritty. This is taking a lot of that dirt down with it, and we can see it sort of flowing down the side, around the hinges and everything. With that, we're gonna let it dwell as long as we can. We're inside, so we're gonna cut it a little short.
But anytime you touch a wash mitt or a wash sponge to your paint, you're introducing a scratch risk, right?
Right.
So floating this off with chemicals and dwell time and rinsing is a much safer way than simply putting your rag or whatever you're using to wash your car on the paint first, right?
Exactly. And one thing that a lot of people do is they foam the car up, they let it dwell a few minutes, then they immediately hit it with their wash media. They haven't taken any of the dirt off the surface. We foamed, we're gonna rinse, then we'll foam again, then we use the wash mitt.
Yep.
So Nick, Do you have the nozzle
right there.
there?
Yep.
And actually, that's a 40-degree nozzle. We're gonna go back to the 25-degree that we normally use.
Okay.
Because we want to get into different areas, and the 40-degree is what we used on the engine. So let me go get that 25-degree nozzle for you. I'll be right back. Nick, I'm gonna make your life just a little easier.
Okay.
We'll put this here. Now you'll be able to rinse the roof all the way forward.
You know, it really is amazing the inclination we have to want to climb up on vehicles versus a ladder.
Yeah.
Or a step stool. It's worth using the ladder.
Always.
Always. Ivan, it is amazing how many nooks and crannies have just erupted with dirt and debris and tree twigs. We have our work cut out for us. This is not a no-touch wash situation here.
No, definitely far from that. This needs a contact wash in every way, shape, and form possible. Now, we have the Incredible Suds that we rinsed off. It took a lot of the grit with it. We're gonna put Incredible Suds back on, and we're gonna be cleaning this another time. Now, the reason we're squeegeeing the floor, couple things. Safety risk, we don't want to be slipping. Secondly, we're in a heat wave in Omaha at the moment. It's almost 100 degrees outside. Our air conditioner is barely keeping up in here. It's in the high 80s. And the less humidity we have, the cooler it's gonna feel for us. So by squeegeeing all the water to the drain, we have less evaporation, more in the drain.
So we're gonna hit this with Incredible Suds again. It might not be as foamy as the first go around. Usually I always tell people just use whatever you have left in your foam cannon. In this case, we just dunked the foam cannon because I used all of it into our bucket. And the bucket, we only usually put about an ounce of product in there. Ivan, a cap full of product is your standard. I usually do a couple capfuls.
Yeah.
But that's a lower dilution, right, than is normal in your foam cannon. So we might not get the suds we're looking for in round one.
No, but we don't need that much suds for round two.
Yeah.
This is just for extra protection.
Exactly. The real question is, are you ready for me to foam again?
Go for it.
All right. So again, a little watery in the foam department compared to what we usually see out of Incredible Suds.
Oh,
but
leave that on there, Nick.
Okay.
Yep. So we have a little bit in our buckets. There's some left over here. Let's make use of it. Who doesn't like a lot of foam?
Now when it comes to eating an elephant, it's one bite at a time. But there are certain strategies, Ivan, that we've talked about in the past.
Right.
And one of them is top to bottom in terms of, where do I start on the car? Where do I start washing?
Exactly, top to bottom, and got a tool in my hand that you rarely see us use. But the Jeep is full of little nooks and crannies, and this one is full of encrusted dirt everywhere, around the hinges, every one of these body lines. So we're gonna be using the brush in conjunction with the wash mitt to make sure we get all of that out of there.
Is that the wheel and body brush you're using, Ivan?
No, I'm using the little detail brush.
Okay.
Wheel and body brush will probably see use as well, but in this case, the mitt is okay getting in around these hinges, but the brush just does a better job getting in there. And since we've foamed, rinsed, and foamed, I don't have to worry about brushing grit around. All I'm brushing is the soap and getting the nasty stuff out of the way.
All right, you can use your expert techniques there, and I'll just keep working on the roof for you.
Thank you.
Ivan, you've owned so many Jeeps. What should folks know about washing them? I guess the endless nooks and crannies is sort of what you've been working on there.
Yeah, they look simple and boxy. It's just a look.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, the wheel and body brush can get into some areas, but unfortunately the Jeep, those little nooks and crannies are really little. So
can I double fist here?
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're going. I'm doing the two brush method.
Oh,
I just
okay.
made that up.
Yeah.
We're going to Mount Brushmore. I got to give credit to my son Max. He came up with Mount Brushmore.
When you're dealing with brushes, always important to dip them frequently, because unlike your wash media, they're not carrying a lot of suds with them. So normally these brushes live in our wheel bucket, but in this case, we took them out, rinsed them off, and are using them in our wash bucket just for this occasion. Because again, the Jeep is synonymous for nooks and crannies.
And after we use our brushes in our wash bucket, we can then transition these very same brushes to our wheel bucket and do wheels.
Yeah, and normally we do the wheels sort of as part of the wash, but since these are so bad, we're doing the wheels separately.
Are you sure brushes are safe on car paint, Ivan?
Yes, well, not all brushes. Some brushes are, and our wheel and body brush definitely is, especially with all the lubrication that Incredible Suds is giving it. It's incredible all the dirt that is coming out of these cracks and crevices.
Gosh. Ivan, I know you can approach the trunk as just, I don't know, brush around, figure it out, whatever. Do you have any strategies? Again, you're the Jeep guy in my mind.
Yeah, so we open this up.
Okay.
And open this up and then get our small brush in there.
Just like into here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that certainly does free up. And then the inside door here, do you consider this the exterior or the interior?
That's part of the interior on a Jeep.
Okay.
So the rubber seal is right on the edge.
Obviously it's painted, so it's like you could just, do we wash it now? Do we wash it later?
Yeah.
I've always approached it as an interior, but I saw you hitting the door jambs and I'm like, I wonder what Ivan would do.
Right.
I wonder what Ivan would do. He's always up to something, you know?
And then the other area of the Jeep that's always difficult to get at, and we might actually remove the spare tire here if we need to, but it's in here, where the spare tire is hanging on the door. Luckily, these are not, very tight spoke wheels, so I can get in behind the spare tire with a brush.
Yep.
But if we can't get in behind the spare tire with a brush, then it's best to take the 3 bolts off and call it good.
And I can kind of get in a little bit back here too.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the paint.
Oh,
Not the wheel.
I didn't.
The final area I'm gonna brush is the door jamb. With a Jeep, if you want to, you can take the doors off too. Something you can't do on a regular car.
So Ivan, I'll start working on the wheels.
Yep.
As you finish up the contact wash, you move on to decon. You can explain what you're doing there. I think I'm gonna hit it with a little more iron remover.
Yeah, the wheels, a little more iron remover, a little more all clean. Scrub the wheels, scrub the tires. Let's get it.
You would do all clean first, or?
Yeah, this time you do all the all clean first.
Okay, we're not messing around on these wheels, Ivan.
No, they need it. So we're starting with the all clean once again, and we'll do the iron remover afterwards.
Ivan, these wheels are benefiting from every step of this process. The extra all clean, the extra iron remover, certainly the agitation of the wheel and body brush,
Yeah, they need help.
Starting at the valve stem, working my way around is a effective method as always.
Nick, I'm gonna be deviating slightly from our standard operating procedure.
That's not like you, Ivan.
No, but in this case, it warrants it. While we were using the brush on the Jeep, we got a lot of little gritty pieces coming out from those cracks and crevices. Because of that, I don't want to go on here with our decontamination towel right away. I'm gonna rinse it off, add a little more Incredible Sud since there's a little left in the foam cannon, and then do the decontamination.
And I think it's just a lesson for everybody, right? When to deviate from SOP, when you see something that seems off. Always trust what you're seeing on the paint versus something you saw on a YouTube video. When in doubt, right, Ivan?
Yeah, exactly. When in doubt, and this time we have doubt. Nick, very happy I did that extra rinsing.
Yeah, I needed it.
It's incredible all the grit that came out of the cracks. So the Incredible Suds did a bit of a job there because it got into those cracks and allowed the pressure washer to, rip that dirt out of there. And that little brushing that we did also has a good help on that. And Nick, you're doing a good job of the squeegee as usual.
We had a lot of moisture in here, a lot of rinsing.
Yeah, a lot of rinsing. We picked one of the hottest, most humid days in Nebraska to decide to rinse a car 8 times. But we're doing it for you.
The shop has character. It's not brand new, it's got its quirks. We love it.
Yeah. Now the next step is iron remover. And iron remover by itself is a great clay lubricant. But we just happen to have a little bit of Incredible Suds in here. We're gonna foam it up one more time. Since we've got it, we're not using any more. We're just using up what's in here. Just to add that little extra bit of lubrication, because we know the more lubrication we give this Jeep, the happier it's gonna be.
A bed of lubrication, I like to think of it. We're making the bed.
As simple as that. We don't need a lot, just a little bit.
Ivan, folks out there may have heard of clay. This
Right.
is not clay.
No, this is a perforated synthetic decontamination towel. And no clay was mined in the making of this towel. It's fully synthetic. And it's safe. We're not scratching the paint, we're not damaging it, we're not marring it even. We're just decontaminating.
Typically it's one spray on the panel, one spray on your towel.
Yep.
Deposit the towel where you have sprayed the panel. I gave it a couple sprays. I don't know, this paint, I just wanted an extra spray. I'm known for the extra spray, Ivan.
You are, and a little while ago, we haven't really talked about it too much, but we reformulated our iron remover to have a little less of that characteristic fragrance.
It's subtle, but it's less.
Yeah, it's definitely less. Now it's a subtle fragrance as opposed to a in-your-face sort of fragrance. The effectiveness is still the same. It's still doing what iron remover is supposed to do, but a little less on the pungent side.
This towel, I use it almost every wash, even
Yep.
for my car at home, just because it's so great at shedding bug guts from the windshield. And then after I've done a panel, I simply flip the sides. So I did half the hood, the windshield. Okay, I'm gonna count those as my 2 sides. I have 2 more sides to work with. And then after that, I can go ahead and re-dip it in my bucket.
Yeah, and we're not gonna be using the bucket for anything else after this, so it's fine to re-dunk it in. Don't forget to do the glass. Make it easier to clean in the future.
Certain times you wonder, like, do I need to quote unquote clay or decon? This is one of those times where it's not even something that a detailer would notice versus the average person. Because I truly think when you decon your paint, you really do brighten up the surface. But this is not gonna be subtle. I mean, this really will brighten up the surface of this white paint. You'll see what we're talking about in a little bit.
Yeah, once we dry this, it's gonna be a dramatic change.
And I'm not putting any pressure on this towel, am I, Ivan?
No, never.
Someone said something about pressure and detailing. You got that quote for me?
Well, not necessarily pressure. Pressure is not a good thing, but if it feels like you're working, you're probably doing something wrong. And pressure equals work.
Should I decontaminate the glass, Ivan?
Every single time.
Why is that?
Makes it easier to clean. You'll see better where you're driving. Normally after we use the decontamination towel, we see on the surface a little bit of red streaking. But this one, I'm actually getting brown and dark streaks along with the red. That's how contaminated this paint is. So hopefully we have a couple of Jeep fans watching this. What's your favorite Jeep? Is it the CJs, YJ, TJ, JK, JL, or the old military Jeeps?
It's really satisfying to decon the front grill area of the Jeep as well.
Yeah,
Because it always feels like there's just bugs who
have taken in residence, yes.
Yeah. The bug graveyard here.
And this one is no exception.
Yeah.
And those bugs have, let's say, permanently etched this front end. That's where ceramic coating comes in. Don't worry, we're not putting ceramic coating on this one. It's for sale. Make sure we got all those little nooks and crannies. Nick, the other thing is, this is one of the first areas I did, and we can actually see the bleeding. There is so much contamination. Even though I've gone over it with a decontamination towel, we can see bleeding from the iron remover doing its thing. And around the emblem here and around the hinges, we can just see it just coming down.
Would you ever want to use iron remover and then a brush to work this in, or is the towel the move?
Oh, you can use a brush.
Both work.
Yeah. Nick, since the iron remover is doing such a great job at attacking this iron, even after we've used the perforated synthetic decontamination towel, we're actually going to let it dwell, which is something we normally don't do with our iron remover because the towel does such a great job. But in this case, this one really, really needed it.
And if you know Ivan, you know he loves it hot. He hates the cold.
Yeah.
But as I see this vehicle sweating iron remover, I also see your head just sweating.
My brow is a little...
It's so hot in here.
It is, well, not necessarily hot. It's only around 85, but is just 99% humidity. We've got a cloud forming on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna need to rinse this one more time and then go at it.
The back sweat is when you know it's really on. And
yeah.
It's a back sweat kind of day, guys.
But we're still getting the job done.
Ivan, she's nice and dry.
She's nice and dry, and unfortunately, our camera decided to take a break while we were still working. We mentioned it was warm in here. Apparently, electronics don't like heat and humidity as much as we do.
First, the camera stopped recording audio, then everything went blurry. We are so grateful you came along for the ride.
Right.
Hopefully you got value in that. No drying aid on this paint.
No, we dried it. And we're gonna do this as a 4-part series, but we also noticed how long it took us to do that wash, and there was a lot of good information, so we can't edit a lot of it out. So we're gonna make this a 5-part series as of now. The next part will be polishing with our all-in-one polish.
It's a very easy process. It's a little mysterious because do we have an all-in-one polish? If you want to know the answer to that, check out this video right here.